Hey guys, welcome to In the Mix, the podcast where we shine a light on and talk to the most talented people in Indianapolis's music scene. Here, we discuss the stories behind the storytellers. I'm Mitch, Chief Engineer here at 416 Wabash, and today's guest is already a Naptown legend, the musical mayor of Indianapolis himself, Rob Dixon. You can't walk more than 10 feet without running into somebody in Indianapolis who already knows and loves Rob. Rob's saxophone sound is as buttery and smooth as it is unique and innovative. Rob's talent shines through his music, where he blends jazz, R&B, funk, soul, and pop into an amalgam that is very much his own. From his extensive solo career to his work with heavyweights like Mike Clark, Charlie Hunter, and Slide Hampton, chances are you've already heard Rob's music. We discuss topics such as his upbringing and his early musical influences, to his upcoming projects and where you can see him live, all the way to his death row meal and which horror movie villain he thinks he could take one-on-one. Without any further ado, I give you Rob Dixon. Rob Dixon,
Hey, Mitch, great to be here.
where are you from, buddy?
Well, I grew up part of my life in Atlanta, but high school, middle school. But before that, I was born in Baltimore and was there until about 10. So I moved from Baltimore to Atlanta. Those are kind of my places where I grew up, and then I came to Indiana because of IU.
What was little Rob like as a kid?
I was really into I don't know, just playing outdoors, being Evel Knievel on my bike and
Yeah.
making jumping ramps. Got into sports pretty early on, so
Yeah.
my family's into sports. So I was really into sports up until like high school,
Yeah.
and then kind of just stopped.
You have a big family, small family?
No, I got two sisters.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Are you the
I'm middle.
oldest?
I'm
You're the middle?
Yeah.
Do you feel like you're the stereotype of a middle child?
Nah.
No?
Since I was the only boy in the family, I probably got like my sisters got like more money stuff, but I might have gotten a little more attention in other ways. You know what I mean?
Oh, really?
Yeah, because they would come out to my football games and basketball games.
Yeah.
And it would be
Yeah.
I felt like my sisters and my dad and mom always supported me. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's cool.
They weren't. Yeah, so
That's nice to have.
yeah, it was good.
When did music first come into your life?
You know, man,
Is it like a pinpoint, or do you think
No,
it's like a slow burn?
no, it was actually when I was in elementary school. We had like this group of high school kids that played. They had a fusion band, and they came to our school to do just a little convocation. And man, I was just blown away. Two like sax players, drummer that was super funky,
Yeah.
bass keys, and they were playing. I mean, they were playing stuff like probably like Sanborn and some
Oh, wow.
Spyro Gyra stuff, and
Yeah.
like Grover Washington-esque kind of stuff.
Wow. Yeah.
And it just sounded, I'm just like, I was just like so attracted to that sound. So I signed up for band the next year.
That
And-
really flipped a switch for you
Yeah,
somewhere.
and I was initially, I was like, I could play the drums, but we had way too many drummers. So saxophone, I was like, man, the sax was cool in that band,
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Did it pop off really early? Could you tell that you had something in the blood?
I was interested really early. I didn't, I had like such a strong interest in just like being curious about music. So, I think what did it for me, when I would come home, I would like try to play stuff I heard on the radio. Or we had a piano, or I sit at the piano.
Yeah.
My friend down the street had a drum set, so I go try to go play his drum set. So I was really, into it like out of the school, and where everybody else is like, well, I just got to play band,
Yeah.
and they would just do I was trying to play stuff that I heard like
Wow.
recordings of.
Do you remember those first 1, 2, or 3 artists that really clicked initially?
Like, the first two were probably Grover Washington and David Sanborn.
Oh, okay.
I heard like something of David Sanborn, Lotus Blossom, and really cool recording. It was like it was David Sanborn before, like, I think it was very early David Sanborn. Just after he left the Brecker Brothers
Right.
kind of
Right.
his first album. And then I heard some, Grover Washington. So those two in particular were like kind of like the ones.
Yeah.
And then when I got to be a little older, we were playing like a Spyro Gyra. We was playing like this fusion band, Spyro Gyra. We were playing a tune in big band, and I took it to this guy who was a great teacher in the Atlanta area, Charles Bradley, and he could play like bebop. He could play like everything, and then he just looked at the changes and just started blowing on it. And I was like, man, he sounds better than the guy on the record. Like, how's he doing that? And then he told me, he's like, he told me, buy this record by Miles Davis, Kind of Blue by Cannonball Adderley, something else. And that kind of let me on that, like, listening to, like, bebop and post-bebop and kind of pushed me in the right direction of who to check out,
What were the first few weeks, months of Rob playing saxophone? Did it click initially? Was it a whole bunch of squeaking and squawking, or?
Yeah, it was a little bit of, it didn't click super, like, quick, but I was determined to, like, get a really good sound. I was determined to, like, play, and wanted to play stuff, so but it picked up pretty quick. Because I was so interested in it, like, my first, on the first concert, like, I got to play, like, a duet with this other saxophone player that was a little more advanced than I was.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a guy that played trumpet, and he got featured too, and he had been playing a lot longer.
I can't imagine you being a novice or sophomoric for very long. It had to have been a pretty steep incline.
Nah, it wasn't. It was kind of like, it kind of happened in plateaus or whatever, because I think I stayed at a certain level, and then I got some instruction on, like, what to check out. And that was the important time for me, and I guess kind of a watershed moment when I discovered, like, Cannonball Adderley and Miles Davis and John Coltrane, those records.
Yeah.
Where it kind of set me in a different direction of, like, how to play the saxophone, like, different ways to improvise.
Sure. Well, it's great people to learn from, for sure.
It's just, kind of learning the beginnings of, like, what the bebop language was.
You were originally going to college in Virginia?
Yeah, Hampton University.
And then you went to IU. Why'd you go to IU?
Well, lifelong friend, one of my best friends, Derek Gardner, who I actually work with at Northwestern, he was at Hampton, and he told me about IU and the grad school program, and how great David Baker was, and it just came on my radar about, like, he was like the jazz educator guru, so that's what made me send in an audition tape. It was actually a tape back then. It was like in the like 92.
You had to mail it?
Yeah, I think I mailed it, like a cassette tape or whatever. It was like 92, 93, 94, something like around there.
So when you get done with IU, do you go up to Indy initially after that, or that's when you head to New York?
Yeah, I had I was, after IU, I moved up to Indianapolis and didn't do anything for a while, just kind of hung out. I had a girlfriend who I lived with for a while in an apartment, and I just didn't play my saxophone for maybe about half a year, 6 months, 6 months.
No shit.
Got a job working at UPS, loading packages. It was,
wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was just like, just different life, you know what I mean? I was like, and then, like, my back started hurting.
So you're like, fuck this, dude, I'm out.
I was just like, man, this is not happening. And, I worked for like 12, midnight to 3 a.m. And then they just had you got one 15-minute break. And then the other times you're just humping. Like,
no thanks.
And you're thinking, like, oh, it's 3 hours with just one 15-minute break. It's not bad. It's like, no, you're humping for 2 hours and 45 minutes. Like, just going.
I'm good.
Yeah. I was. And then, so basically, after I worked through the busy season, I think I decided to go down to the Chatterbox because I heard about it to sit in. I hadn't played in a while, and I went on a Wednesday night, and Dick Dickinson's old drummer was there, and he kind of had a thing, and he would let kids sit in, he'd let people sit in, and he let me sit in.
Have you been practicing? Or
No,
this is
I was just. I mean, I had done my master's recital, and I was at a pretty advanced level
Yeah.
at that point. But I wasn't. I was a little off my game because I hadn't played in a while. But I went and sat
Yeah.
in, and then I think he dug it because like he got my phone number, and then literally like I woke
Wow.
up the next day like. And then about, around 11 o'clock in the morning, he called me. He's like, can you come play the gig at the Chatterbox tonight?
No shit.
Yeah, and then he had called me regularly. Like, and he had 2 weeks from there, I was there again on a Saturday night.
Wow.
And then just things started to pick up, and then I
Yeah.
started getting called for stuff. And
I think about those moments and how
Yeah.
things could have changed.
Right.
Because you always hear those horror stories of flinging cymbals at kids because they fucked up or whatever and all this stuff. If he would have gone, Rob, that ain't it.
Right,
So
yeah,
you
he
go
could
ahead and
have
head
been
off.
like discouraging.
How
and,
that would have changed.
Yeah,
you
I
know?
would have probably like, well, I don't need to do music, but he he just called me and said, hey, can you come and then come and play? And then I just started playing. And then there was a trumpet player around here that I think that heard me, Mike Rodman,
Mhm.
and he was starting a group. He was like, we were doing rehearsals, and I wasn't doing anything else at the time. I was like, yeah, I'll come rehearse. And
Yeah.
it was a great piano player, Jeff DeHurt, and Frank Steens was in it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Fred Withrow, who plays Monday nights at the Jazz Kitchen, got a drummer named Nick Ashton. So we just started rehearsing these tunes, and then we actually ended up getting a gig at the Chatterbox on a pretty regular basis.
So it was pretty precipitous. You
Right,
got
and
in
it
a
was
couple
like
things
right
and then boom.
around when, the Jazz Kitchen was open. And I
Yeah.
tell this funny story because we were rehearsing, and Mike hooked up a audition for David Ali.
Yeah.
Because David was opening the club, and he came down and listened to us. And then he hadn't even opened the club, and then he listened to us play a couple of tunes. He's like, yeah, we're kind of booked up for the next few months. I tell him that story. He cracks up. I'm like, bro, like what? It's like, you haven't even opened the doors. You're booked up. Which I think he was. I actually think he was. Now that I think about it, it's like, because his dad played the opener, and then his dad had a lot of friends. Steve,
Sure. So then you go to New York.
Yeah. And, that was basically, I just had a lot of friends from IU and saying, hey, come out to New York. They've been saying it for that a few years. And it just felt like the right time to go out. And I knew there was just a lot of people there. And I had run into David Baker probably a few months before that. And he goes, don't get sticking around in Indianapolis. You need to go on to New York. And
Sure.
so I went there. Drove. I had a pickup truck at the time. Packed up my stuff. Drove out there. Had a place to stay.
Nice.
Got there, and like the first night out, I went out. Literally drove like 13 hours, and then that night I went out to a jam session. I was so amped. I was just like so
Pure adrenaline.
Oh yeah, I was just
Yeah.
like excited to just be in New York, and then
Do you remember how it went? The first one?
it went okay. It didn't go great. Matter of fact, I started going out to jam sessions like every night, and then I realized, like, man, there's a lot of tunes I don't know, like a lot
like
of
from the
standard.
songbook?
Yeah, just
essentially
from
thing?
songbook and
Yeah.
tunes that people called, and when I was initially started my group here in Indianapolis before I moved to New York, I was into writing my own music, and so I wrote a lot of my own tunes, and then when I got to New York, I stopped writing for a period because I was just like, I need to just learn tunes.
I see. Yeah.
So I went to jam sessions, and it was probably about 2 months before I actually got to a jam session where they start calling tunes. I was like, I know this one. It's like,
B flat, cool. 1, 2,
because I
3.
would like basically every night they would call these tunes, and I would always just make a list of the tunes that they would call.
There you go.
And then during the day, I would go like learn them, listen to the recordings, and just
Yeah.
try to shed them and play them. And,
Yeah.
and that's how I learned a lot of tunes. It's like a jam session, like, oh, they play this tune. Okay, boom. Go
Yeah.
home, checked out that record.
Did you feel better than some of the guys you were with? Worse than the guys? Or you're like, I fit, I belong?
No, I always felt like I was learning, and I felt like I was like, just really trying to catch up to a lot of guys. But what I learned about New York, is that, in that community, particularly in the jazz community, if you are doesn't matter what level you were, if they knew that you were serious,
Yeah.
people just respected you just being on like,
Really?
man, this cat is serious. Cause I would show up
Ah,
and then I would be practicing. And then like 3 weeks later, I'm like, this cat's getting better. And then so people were like, man, they take you serious,
that's nice.
Yeah, so it was good.
Instead of this cabal of kind of assholes going, he's new, fuck him.
Right. No, it wasn't like that. It was, definitely, there was some, because, those other musicians in that circle were serious about it. So
Yeah.
it didn't become it wasn't really competitive. It was more of exchange of information, just always,
Okay.
and I think the music community in general is kind of like that,
Yeah.
it's just, because music's just so hard, to pursue, to get really good at. So I think that
There's a camaraderie there.
there's a camaraderie there and
Yeah.
empathy for each other, like in
Sure.
our struggles to get better as musicians. But
Yeah.
I had a couple of like really big moments. There was a really big jam session. I was going on to all the sessions all the time. Um, and there was a big jam session called Visiones. It was a club right next to Blue Note.
Mm.
And all the cats showed up. And then the drummer that kind of ran the session was like, hey, Ralph Lalama, who was like the tenor player on the session,
Hmm.
he's not gonna be here. He's going on the road with the Vanguard band. He's like, can you cover this jam session for the couple weeks? So it was a big deal. I was like, okay, well,
Yeah.
now people are starting to like say, like, wow, they're actually calling me for gigs. And
It's a nice validation.
yeah, it
You
was
felt
good.
like you belong.
It was good. And then right around that time, there was another big jam session in Brooklyn called Dean Street, and all the cats would show up. And the saxophone player, man, Craig Bailey, great saxophonist, teaches at CCM now. He asked me to cover for him. He's going out on the road with Yanni,
Yeah.
and he's like, "Hey man, can you do the session?" And I did the session, and then literally, like, I played, and a guy walked up to me and was like, "Man, I really dig your sound." He's like, "Give me a call,"
Oh, shit.
and I was like, yeah, I didn't think anything of it at the time. I was like,
Yeah.
whatever. So that guy was Weldon Irving,
Wow.
composer, pianist. He wrote Young,
Yeah.
Gifted, and Black for Nina Simone. He wrote Mr. Clean for Freddie Hubbard.
Yeah, yeah.
He calls me the next day on my phone. Like I had a house phone, and he called me. I forgot, like, that I even had the number. I just woke up, and he's like, what are you doing? I was like, well, nothing. He's like, well, come by the Billie Holiday Theater in Brooklyn. So I went there, and it was actually cool because, he had me playing a bunch of tunes and stuff.
Mm.
And he was just kind of taking inventory of my playing. And he goes, you're very good. He's like, you're not great. He's like, you can be, but you're very good.
Okay.
So he offered me a gig. He's like, I got this gig. I've taken the music of Smokey Robinson, and it's an adaptation to this musical, like his music,
Yeah.
putting different lyrics to it.
Yeah.
Do you want to do it? He's like, I don't have a part for the saxophone, but if you listen to the music, you can make a part around it. And
Wow.
so that was my first experience working with the musical off Broadway. It was in Brooklyn.
Mm.
But there were some really good actors, like serious actors that were in it. And
Yeah.
I made up a part, and I played it the same way every night.
No shit.
Yeah, because, it was like, I realized then, actors, like, really, they need to cue off of the way the music flows, so it has to be the same. But, because of Weldon, I got to meet, like, Lenny White at the time. He'd come by. I think Stanley Clark came by one night.
Wow.
Smokey Robinson came by a few times.
No shit.
Yeah, just check it out because it
Wow.
was his music. And I remember one night this place was packed and we were doing the show, and I was
Yeah.
like, I was playing the soprano at the end. They were doing something, and I was like, man, I'm gonna just take it up. So I just start, like, the energy in the room was great. So I just start wailing like higher on, like, kind of real thing that I played. And I was like, no, I'm gonna just play up high because the energy in the room.
Yeah.
So I started wailing on top, and it was a good night. I always felt good. I was like, oh man, that was kind of a moment, right? I felt like it was a moment.
Yeah, yeah.
Like the Monday, it was a Saturday night. Like I get a call, like, oh, the producer needs to see you, and in the Billie Holiday Theater, and I was like, okay, cool. And I was like, man, it was a good show. She's probably like, all excited.
Yeah.
So I went up to her office. She's like, something was wrong. The
What?
show was, no, you did something at the end. It was not right. And I was like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I did play, like, differently than I usually play. I played a higher note, and I was like,
Sure.
I just did a higher note. She's like, no, that was wrong. And I was like,
Ooh.
okay. And I was like, okay, I get it now. Like, and
Wow.
shows, they were trying to be like Broadway. And in the Broadway shows, you can't play anything different, you know?
Wow. It's like almost press and play on a tape.
Yeah,
It's
you
gotta be
got
the
to, the
same.
actors, you know, I mean, sidebar, a few years back, I was on the road with Charlie Hunter, and Carter McLean is the drummer he's the drummer on Lion King, so he'd always have to sub out.
Yeah.
He would sub out these amazing drummers,
No
but
shit.
like they would always get complaints because these drummers would come in and play killing, like, you know, all this stuff,
Ah.
but then they wouldn't do stuff like, you know, the producer would be like, "It was horrible. We we threw the coconut and he forgot to hit the wood block when, you know, you throw the boop, it hits the head." So I was like, oh man, yeah, it totally makes sense because all you have to do, and Carter's like, you got to make your cues. You could be like super sad on the drums.
Yeah.
As long as you make your cues, they love you. You know, they're like, oh, he's amazing. He hit all the cues.
You can't.
Oh no, you gotta like, well, we gotta follow the script, and like it doesn't matter. It almost is like the performance can be like, but if it's like you nail the cues, it's, I mean, it works.
You're set.
You know? And that was kind of what it was with when I was doing that show. I learned, I was like, I got to just nail my cues. I got to just always play this at this spot at this time.
Play the part.
Just play the part.
Yeah.
Because then it's like, I'm like, oh yeah, it's not about me. It's about this show. It's about these actors saying their lines. Because if we play something different, they're like, what? This is
It might throw them out of it.
Oh, yeah, throw them out of there. Like on my shows, things are different every time. Like,
Sure.
In other disciplines, it's not like, I've noticed it's like, oh, it's got to be like, there's got to be a consistency and a sameness to it. It's like, I remember working with the Butler dancers, the ballet dancers, and they had worked with a recording of mine on Coast Crossroads, and then we were going to do it live.
Yeah.
So I play the head, and I just start blowing, and they get lost. They're like...
They're completely lost.
They're like, you didn't do that on the record. I was like, I was like, okay, I got to learn my solo.
They want you got to relearn your own solo.
And then I had a trombone player, Ernest Stewart. I was like, he was on the gig too. I was like, you got to learn your solo on the record. I was like, we got to just play it like the record, or as close as we possibly can to
You have
the
to be
record.
constrained because they follow off of cues and stuff.
Yeah, they follow off of cues, and then, you know, it was just like little cues, like not things that like musicians would be like, okay, on the top it goes there.
Yeah.
It would just be like some little drum fill that they would cue off of, and I'd be like, what? I was like, I could barely hear the... Yeah, it's like...
But that's a monumental thing that they cue off of.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, wow.
They cue off of different things, and it's like, okay.
So why'd you come back to Indianapolis after New York?
I came back because before 9/11, I was probably working like, I had a regular Monday gig, I had a regular Tuesday gig, a regular Wednesday gig in Manhattan, all in Manhattan, Thursday and on Restaurant Row in Manhattan. Every Friday I was playing like at a place in Brooklyn. And after those towers went down, within a month, all those gigs went away. Everybody just stopped.
Dude.
So the economy was like terrible. So what I did was I was just kept going back and forth from Indy to New York because I would be able to do gigs here in Indy and do, you know, a few gigs, make some money, go back to New York, be in my apartment, go back.
Damn.
Back and forth. And I was able to get, at that time, nobody was flying. So I was able to get buddy passes from a friend.
There you go.
$20 a flight.
No shit.
And those airplanes were like empty, dude. Nobody was flying after 9/11.
You're all stretched out in the aisle and shit.
Like people knew me in the like LaGuardia Airport and the Indy Airport. I knew all
hey,
the
Rob,
people. Yeah, I knew all the people there at the time. I was just like, because I was going back and forth all the time. It was like, it was easy. Yeah, I did that. And then I realized, like, man, I'm working a lot in Indy. This is not making any sense for me to stay in New York, you know. I'm doing just as much gigs, if not more now, in Indy because they were less. I mean, like, the rest of the country was less affected. I mean, everybody's affected economy-wise, but, like, New York was really just...
Yeah, it's the epicenter.
Yeah, the economy just kind of shut down for a little bit, like, on certain things. So I was like, okay, so I just moved back. That was, like, in probably, like, late 2003, where I just made the full, complete thing where I was like, okay, I'm just here.
How long did it take for Indianapolis to feel like home?
You know, I always felt like home. I started my career here, so I knew everybody, so it wasn't
Yeah.
It was an easy transition to come back in, and I was just gigging,
Yeah, yeah,
because
yeah.
I was just going back and forth anyway, and I was keeping when I was in New York, I was keeping those ties back here to Indy, trying to bring groups back to play
Yeah.
with Jazz Kitchen and stuff. So,
Okay.
and then I was like, okay, I got to get people knowing me again back here in Indianapolis. So I
Oh, yeah.
started,
Get your buzz back a little bit.
yeah, start
Yeah.
playing around and doing
That's cool.
gigs and stuff.
In '06, you released What Things Could Be.
Right.
What can you tell me about that project? What was it like?
It
was a long time ago, man. That's
Yeah, it was
crazy.
a long time ago, and I had just started a record label with Al probably in 2005.
Mm.
And Al Hall, he wanted to start a record label, Al Studios, OWL Studios,
Hmm.
and that was the first record that came out of it. We didn't do a national radio promotion or national publicity, but it did. Doing that record actually really taught me about what was happening in the industry, and it was actually at a time that things were in flux completely.
Oh, yeah.
Because in '99, Sean Parker had created Napster, and that kind of
Oh,
just
yeah.
created the downfall of
Yeah.
music as far as selling it.
Yeah.
So at that time, there were Tower Records, and all the record stores were just shutting down. Everybody's just shutting down. 'Cause
Yeah, no shit.
music online was becoming so accessible and free, and almost just as an added value.
Yeah.
At that time, the word free downloads was kind of like the same thing.
Yeah.
So then you're like, okay, well, music is losing its value. And then monetizing it, nobody knew. Streaming services were kind of at the beginning. So
Yeah.
getting,
It was so nebulous. Like,
yeah,
what is
how
this?
do people get paid? Everything, it was kind of like the Wild Wild West as far as internet and music. So yeah,
Yeah.
it was really probably the absolute worst time to have a record label to start one, because it was just you didn't know how to.
It's such a transition, and what a
Right.
butterfly effect that had for everything subsequent.
Right. Yeah, it was a great record, and I learned about a lot about the industry. It was kind of a record that was kind of just cross genre. I realized that is not the best recipe when you're putting out a record. Particularly if
Looking
you want
back
to
on it
market, yeah, you want to market it. If it's
Yeah.
all over the place, people just don't know what to do.
Yeah, oh, sure.
Well,
What is this?
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah, yeah. In '08, you did Reinvention, and you did it with Melvin Ryan. How'd that all come about?
Wanted to do an organ record, and Melvin had been and moved back from Milwaukee to Indianapolis, and he was such an iconic organ player.
Oh, yeah.
Being
in the trio. I
yeah,
mean, dude.
being the original West Montgomery trio, and making all those kind of important records, legendary records that he made. And it was like, well, okay, we have a living legend here in Indianapolis.
Yeah.
It would not make sense not to do a record with him. And I thought, well, he's done a lot of straight ahead jazz records. Let's do something a little different, and maybe kind of reinvent his kind of career, in a way that would have him highlight him playing different music. So it was kind of more groove based. And initially, I was gonna have Charlie Hunter on it as well.
Yeah.
And tried to work it out with Charlie Hunter's manager, and it just didn't work out. So Fareed was around in Chicago, and
Yeah.
he was down. And he quoted me a price that was pretty affordable, just straight out of the gate. And so I was like,
Nice.
yeah, let's do it, man.
Wow.
So we spent a few days tracking. We had to do another makeup track day. So maybe 3 or 4 days tracking of that record, and then mixing, and it's just a great project. And that actually, we did a radio promotion nationally and
Yeah.
publicity campaign. So it was a lot of fun doing that record.
When you're in those situations with somebody of that caliber and renown, is it a little nerve wracking, or do you just block that out and you go, I'm just playing with a guy, me, him? You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, definitely. You got to get over,
Like, this guy played with Wes Montgomery.
right. You can't do that. You can't be awestruck,
Yeah,
because then
yeah.
it takes the focus of you making the music. So I try to get over it. I remember a few years after that, I did a gig with Mike Clark, and it was like an all-star group. It was like Mike Clark and Christian McBride, and then Donald Harrison and Randy Brecker.
Oh, no shit.
And then we're playing some tunes that I wrote at the Iridium.
That's got to feel cool, man.
It felt cool, but then, like, to your point, I didn't want to tell those cats what to do. And then Donald pulled me aside. He's like, bro, you got to direct us. These are your tunes.
But you're thinking, dude, it's Mike Clark. What am I going to say to Mike Clark?
I was like, what am I going to say to Christian McBride? Like, that's not right. Like, you got to do it. You're just like, man, you wrote the tune. Like, you got to just be like, you got to lead.
Yeah.
And he told me that, like, early on. He said, man, you got to lead.
They were receptive to that?
Oh, yeah, that was cool. I was like,
awesome.
Okay, yeah. So I just took it like I was just playing with cats that I would be playing like with at IU or like on a gig that I would hire, like say,
cool.
okay, I wrote this tune, it goes like this. And, and that was cool because when you give them cats direction, they're like, okay, I got it,
Yeah, yeah. You want to do some rapid fire ones?
Yeah, it's cool.
I'm going to start with people that you play with. You give me a one-word answer. Cool?
Okay.
Steve Ali.
Oh, fantastic.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Slide.
Hampton.
Yeah.
Man, all. Yeah, I guess in awe. I'm just in awe of him.
Sure.
Man.
Derek Gardner.
The best. Like best, one of the best musicians.
That dude can blow, man.
Yeah.
Charlie Ballantyne.
Oh man, a rock star. I love that kid, man. Yeah.
He's cool. Cynthia Lane.
A gift,
Melvin Ryan.
Legendary.
Richard Sleepy Floyd.
Innovator.
Ooh.
Yeah, he's an innovator. Yeah.
Charlie Hunter.
Man, a phenom.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, he's just a phenom. I haven't met anybody that does what he does.
And if they do, they're not a 20th of what he can do. Mike Clark.
Oh, man. I don't know if there's one word I can describe Mike Clark. A genius mind.
Yeah.
Just because he's such a genius in the drumming concepts, but his social IQ is extremely high. He's like one of the funniest people I ever met.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Let's zoom out a little bit.
Okay.
Coltrane.
Inspirational. Yeah.
Cannonball.
I don't know, maybe the same word, inspirational. That's because both of those people are the first two straight ahead players that I really got, inspired from.
Sure. Charlie Parker.
The originator.
Yeah.
Of them,
Yeah, sure. Now we're going to zoom all the way out. Coke or Pepsi?
Oh, definitely Coke. No, I grew up in Atlanta. It's like,
yeah, that's the capital.
Yeah, it's just like, Coke is just like a word like for any soda we drink.
Yeah.
It could be orange. Like, you want Coke? Yeah. It'll be an orange pop. It's like, whatever.
Yeah. Car or truck?
Oh, truck. I drive an SUV, so.
Yeah. Coffee or tea?
Oh, definitely coffee.
Yeah. Well, with you.
Yeah.
2 hours of sleep.
I need it. Like, yeah. I don't do tea so much.
Cats or dogs?
Dogs. I'm allergic to cats, so.
Oh, it's same here.
Yeah, so it's.
And I'm not big on the attitude that they have.
Oh,
when you get home and a dog's like, man, this is the greatest day of my life.
Yep.
You get home and it's a cat and they're like,
okay, whatever.
You're here.
Yeah. Yep.
I'm right there with you. Breakfast or dinner?
Dinner.
Lamp or overhead light?
Lamp.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tenor or Barry?
Tenor, for sure. Okay. Yeah, that's my go-to.
Speaking of Charlie Hunter and Mike Clark, in 2018, you went to Bunker Studios in Brooklyn.
Yep.
And you named it Coast to Crossroads. What was the catalyst behind making that record, especially with those guys?
What started that record was I was on tour with Charlie on the West Coast. And I was in his ear. I was like, man, you should make a record like, kind of like groovy, kind of like funky, kind of stuff that they play like in Starbucks or like some cool coffee shop, just like kind of groove based stuff. And he was like, yeah, I don't know. He's like, I don't know if I really want to do that. He goes, I don't know, maybe that's a little bit dated. I was like, no, it's not dated, dude. Like, that's still the vibe. Let's do it. Let's do it.
Yeah.
And then he was like, why don't I just produce you on your record? And I was like, all right.
Cool.
He goes, I'll play on it. And he was like, yeah, just write some tunes, send them to me, and like, I'll set up the studio, this, that, and the other.
Yeah.
And then he suggested to Mike Clark, he's like, yeah, we should get Mike involved when he was like talking about it. So we
Oh.
just set it. Literally, it was like we toured from LA to Vancouver, just up and down the West Coast
Mm-hmm.
in December, and we were in the studio in March
Oh, wow.
of that following year. Yeah.
Wow.
So
How long were you guys in studio?
just 2 days.
Oh, no shit.
We recorded that album in 2 days.
Wow.
I showed up. We rehearsed at his house. Me and Mike Clark took the train out to Charlie's house
That's
in
cool.
Jersey, and then I think we got into the studios on Sunday. We tracked, and then tracked on Monday, and then mixed on Tuesday.
No soup to nuts, 3 days, 2 days.
Yeah, and then
Wow.
from there we sent it to a mastering guy in North Carolina, and
Yes.
kind of just like got it ready to. Yeah, it was like
Wow. That's like warp speed.
yeah, we just kind of just did it.
Boom.
We just kind of did it, yeah, which was cool. And it was kind of weird for me too, because like I would play a solo and I'm like, I was like, man, I don't know about that take, and I messed up the melody here, and he's like, don't worry about it,
man. You're good.
He's like, cool. He's like, if it doesn't jump out, he's like, it sounds good. It's good. So
That
like
sounds like a music producer.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of those there was very few second takes that we used. It was kind of
That's
like
rad.
first takes, and there were no overdub on solos. Like not even maybe like one note fix, maybe one I think of, but everything else was just kind of like I played it, and he was like, "Yeah, cool, that's it."
On to the
And I
next
was
one.
like, and me, I'm like, man, I don't know, that's right. You're just like, because as an artist, you're always second guessing
Yeah.
yourself. But he was producing it. And he was like, "Nah, that's cool." He's like, "It's good."
That's
And I
almost like
was-
sage wisdom. Like, it's cool, man. You're good.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
I know. And the whole time I'm like, I don't know if it's good,
Yeah.
but you know what? I let him produce it, so I got to,
A little hands off.
I was like, a part of me is like, no, that's not right. I would have to think about it in the macro and be like, okay, is it me being very particular, or is it really just not right? You know what I mean?
Sure.
So, like, there were a couple of things I was like, man, I actually have to, I think the one thing I changed on there was a note, and I was like, no, I just have to change that note. That would drive me crazy. So
You'd never listen to it again.
Yeah, I would never. So I changed one note on something, but everything else was kind of like, it was what it was. It was just like,
That's right.
boom, we tracked it, and then it was like, and at the very end, he was just like, I do a cappella, it could happen to you. And he was like, just go out and play something, play a tune, just play. And I went and played that tune, and he was like, yeah, cool, done.
That's him.
Yeah, it was like, that's it. I was like, really like, are you sure? He was like, yeah, it's Kellen. He said, it sounded great. I was like, yeah. So basically that was that record. And then like tours and just places I had been, I was like, man, I live in the Midwest, and I over the last few years, I've been touring coast to coast.
Yeah.
So, we're in the Crossroads state, close to Crossroads. That's kind of what I came up with. It was something, finding a record, like sometimes you come up with a cool title of a record and you realize like, okay, there are 15 different, like, the exact same thing.
You know what we should do? We should call it Kinda Blue. It seems like you're like,
well,
nope.
like you think, oh man, this is cool, I'm gonna call it this. And you're like, well, there's 10 other people that are calling their record that.
Shit, there's a weather report record. Fuck.
Yeah. I mean, like all the cool names that you can think of, you're like, yeah, it's probably, if it's a cool name, it's a really cool name, it's probably already taken. So when I came up with Close to Crossroads, I was like, that is like different enough. Like, and it's like, where it's not like it doesn't scream cool. So I was like, I looked it up, I couldn't find it anywhere.
There you go.
So I was like, okay, well, this will be mine. I'll own this,
That's a cool record, man. I like that record a lot. So you have 2 new projects that you're going to release here soon. One you did with Jeff Coffin, Victor Krause, Jordan Perlson, and Bob Lanzetti from Snarky Puppy.
Right.
How'd that all come about?
Well, Jeff and I had been talking about recording. I met Jeff, I met him years ago, but we really connected at the first Ground Up Festival in Miami. I was on the road with Charlie Hunter, and then he did a thing with us at the Ground Up Festival. So it was, two tenors, and we played. I think we played a few times at that festival. You know, we played one time at the and during the day at the festival,
Mm-hmm.
and then we played a night concert. But became really good friends and started hanging out, and then we talked about like getting together, and maybe doing a gig or possibly recording. And with his schedule, you know, with him uh, on the road a lot, you know, he was with Bela Fleck. Well, he was with Dave Matthews at the time, but
Yeah.
he didn't have a whole lot of time to like, you know, say, "Oh yeah, I'm free," you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
And now, you know, he's back on the road with Bela. They're doing some gigs as well. So, but he happened to be he was coming into town playing a weekend or a couple nights at the Jazz Kitchen, I think it was, or maybe it was just one night. But he called me, and I was like, "Well, maybe I can hook up a session." I was like, "With your guys and a couple of my guys." So he had Victor Krause and Bob Lanzetti and
Yeah.
Jordan Pearlson on the gig, and he was like, "Yeah, well, we'll come down after the next day, um, and record some tunes." And
Hmm.
he sent me a couple of tunes, and I maybe had 3 or 4 tunes ready to go. I think I had 3 tunes, and then we did a tune by Stanton Moore, Blues for Ben.
Hmm.
So it worked out. I think we recorded 6 tunes on that date.
Hmm.
Maybe I don't know, and then went back and re-recorded another one, and I sent him the music, and then he recorded. Then when he came back in town, he played on that new track,
Yeah.
and Charlie Hunter jumped on that track too. We
Yeah.
sent it, yeah. So I think there's 7 tunes on that record
Hmm.
that'll be released. So yeah, that's gonna be a fun one
Yeah.
because it's Jeff Coffin and Victor Krause, Allison Krause's brother, great
Mm-hmm.
bass player, and
Yeah. Played
Bob
with
Lanz-
Robert Plant.
yeah,
Yeah.
Robert Plant and Bob Lanzetti with Snarky Puppy, and
Yeah.
Jordan Pearlson's kind of like the go-to drummer in Nashville,
Yeah.
First Call, and Sleepy is on it, Richard Sleepy Floyd,
Yeah.
and Sean McGowan on keys. So
Yeah. When we did it here,
yeah, and you were the engineer.
yeah, it's one of those things you realize just you turn up the faders and it sounds great.
Oh, right.
It's not a lot of work. The arrangements are good. Everybody's playing is good. I just pulled up the faders. I'm like, cool. That sounds like a record. Just
Right.
everybody's a great player. That's if they would all go that way, that'd be great. But it's just you turn up the faders. You're like, cool. Everybody sounds great.
Yeah.
My job's done.
No, you made it sound great. No, it sounded fantastic.
It's a killer record,
Yeah.
dude. I'm excited for it. You have another one with Dave Stryker, Sam Frybush, and another Richard Sleepy Floyd. What's that one about?
And that was a record that we had Sam Frybush come to the Indie Jazz Fest last September, and we were supposed to play with him. I wasn't able actually to do it, but Sleepy did a couple gigs with him, and we talked about, hey man, we should record together at some point. And last January, well, this past January, we were able to do that. And Dave Stryker was going to happen to be in town
Mm,
from New York. And so we said, why don't we do an organ quartet thing with Dave Stryker?
that's cool.
I had 8 tunes together. So I think we recorded all the 8 tunes.
Yeah.
6 are original. Well, actually 5 are original. And then we did Wes Montgomery tune, Bumping on Sunset.
Mm-hmm.
The Blackbirds, Walking in Rhythm, Marvin Gaye, I Want You.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it'll be a cool record. I think it'll have a lot of people will like it.
Yeah. We
Yeah.
just did the final mixes on that.
We just
like a week ago.
Yeah, we just did the final mixes. They said the record sounds great. I'm just working on the artwork now and trying to get everything,
That's cool.
all the ducks in a row for like radio and publicity and all that.
And those guys sound great too. It's another one of
Yeah.
those things you just pull it up. You're like, great. This is
yeah,
awesome.
yeah, and the mix, the mix ain't too bad either. You know. From actually I think the mixing, what you did on it, I mean, put the magic on it. The magic,
Oh, yeah. Thanks, dude.
touch. So,
You want to move on to the questionnaire, buddy?
yeah, sure.
All right. First one, Rob Dixon. What's your favorite word?
I don't know.
You don't have one?
Music.
I've got one for me.
What's your favorite word?
I both like the bird and the word that it is, kingfisher.
Oh, wow.
That's a cool one for me. Or like, I don't know why I don't have a great bird affinity or anything, but I like skylark too. It just sounds like a cool word.
Wow. No,
Skylark.
I've never really thought about it. So I failed that one. All right, next.
All right, get out of here.
That's like,
Now, do you have a favorite cuss word?
you know, probably just damn.
Okay.
Yeah, that's probably it. Because it's not like, it's almost
You can say it in mixed
it's
company.
almost acceptable in mixed company. You know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah.
And you can get like I can get the same satisfaction if I'm upset or just in a certain mood as I can by using the other expletives.
Okay.
Yeah.
Favorite sound?
Um, Man, lately it's just the sound of the saxophone. Really, just
Ooh.
listening to anybody's saxophone playing.
That's cool.
Like
That's a cool answer.
Well, because man, I've been like really getting into like my saxophone and different like the different frequencies and vintage horns and
That new horn you bought
the
was
new
rad.
horn. Yeah, I mean, because I'm trying to A/B stuff all the time. Yeah.
Do you have a least favorite sound? Something either drives you nuts or you just hate to hear it.
Nails on a chalkboard, I guess.
Yeah, that's tough. That's tough.
Probably the worst. Is like, oh,
You're getting the needle in 10 minutes. What's your death row meal?
oh,
It's got to fit on a dinner plate. Be anything or from around the world.
I don't know. I'm a sucker for a steak, a fillet, just a nice fillet. I'm just simple, like meat and potatoes. I'm not like exotic and want like duck
Puffer fish or something.
yeah, or
crazy.
duck confit or some Thai dish, which they're cool. I'm cool with it, but I'm pretty much American fare is like my jam.
What's your drink?
I like bourbon, so good old fashioned.
There you go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Who's on your musical Mount Rushmore? Rob Dixon's. You get 4 people to put up on Mount Rushmore.
Oh, okay.
Yours personally, not like the greatest of all time, although they can overlap in no particular order.
Yeah, definitely Coltrane.
Train.
Herbie Hancock, just because.
Nice.
Freddie Hubbard.
Nice. Who's the last one? It's always the hardest.
Yeah, that's tricky. Because I want to say somebody like maybe Paul McCartney.
Ooh.
Just because like it was composing.
It's almost like they were like spellcasters from such a limited period of time.
Yeah, no, I know. Paul
all those
McCartney,
seminal songs.
Yeah, because I was gonna say Wayne Shorter, but like man, because
that's
like,
a good one.
Wayne is great.
Yeah.
And Pat Metheny's great, but like
sure.
I mean, I like both of those people because, like, similarly, like why I like Paul McCartney because of his songwriting.
Oh, no
ability.
doubt. No doubt.
You know what I mean? Just like genius songwriters.
That's pretty good Mount Rushmore, dude.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. What's a job for any amount of money you would most want to do? They said we can only pay you $100 a year. You're like, that's cool. I love it.
Play music, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, well, you're in the right spot.
Yeah,
Shit,
I know.
you're living a dream.
Yeah, right.
A job that you would never want to do for any amount of money. They say, Rob, we'll give you $12 million to do this. You go, you can go fuck yourself.
Oh, probably like clean sewers. I don't know. Working in sewage.
That sounds rough.
I don't want to work in sewage. It's just like, nope.
That seems pretty universal. That's pretty good. What's a superpower you would like to have? Any of them, from any of the comic books or movies. You get your pick. You go, I'd do that.
Man, probably something real just basic, like fly.
Fly'd be cool as fuck.
Yeah, what I mean? If you could fly, it'd be like, that's a whole thing,
And it's the coolest exit ever. Like, you guys good? All right, I'll see you.
Yeah, just fly away. Yeah, because being invisible, that's kind of creepy. Yeah.
Right? Yeah, dude.
Like,
you're just skulking around being invisible?
Right.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
That'd just be like weird, and people would be like, oh my gosh, he's a creep. And then being strong is like, it's sort of cool, but,
No, fly, I'm with you. Fly is where it's at.
Yeah.
If you could have dinner with a historical figure, somebody from history, you get 3 hours with them and you just get to talk whatever you want.
You know who not because I'm super smart or anything, but just to get their lens on things, Einstein.
Ooh,
just to converse with him.
that's a good one.
Yeah, just to talk about.
How'd you even get that? How'd you even get to there? And explain it to me. You know what I mean?
I'm like really big, and I've always been fascinated with space exploration, and now with this Artemis going to the moon.
Yeah,
and,
dude, that was rad.
Just the like concepts of like some physics concepts about what's it like outside of Earth's atmospheres and the challenges, and
Yeah,
I like to do a deep dive on all that.
that's dope.
Like like on that Artemis mission, like the fact that the biggest threat was like the heat shield, like I guess
Oh yeah,
the mission.
re-entry and shit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the mission before, like the heat shield, like didn't like evaporate or didn't protect them. There were just big holes in it.
Oh fuck.
So
Shit.
and they didn't make any changes to it,
Ooh, damn.
but they figured that the people wouldn't in the spaceship wouldn't be hurt, even if it was like penetrated that deep and from the. But it was just kind of a real critical part of the journey, like that about the heat shield on the reentry was going to
That's
be
wild.
I know.
Einstein would be a great one.
Yeah, just
That's a real good one.
Because I mean, like yeah. I mean, these things are happening later than his existence, so like, getting him.
Oh, that's interesting. You introduced like, here's what's going on now, and he's like, what?
Right.
Wow.
And somebody
That's a
with
great point.
that mind, just like to put their lens on it.
That's a great one. All right. Rob Dixon, what's your hottest take or most controversial opinion? You walk into a room and you say what you're about to say, and all 50 of them go, what?
Okay, so what do you mean by that exactly?
Not like something untoward or something wild like that, but what's, I guess, maybe an opinion that you hold that most people wouldn't think?
I mean, I am a little bit of a skeptic on the moon landings thing, so I think that would be very controversial.
That'd be pretty controversial.
I'd be like, I don't know if it really happened. People are like, what? But but that's
That'd
why
get you there.
Yeah, so that's why I'm like super like deep dive on like what's going on now with Artemis and Orion.
Yeah.
I just want to understand, because I'm like, man, it just seems like that technology was just like, I've been to that museum in D.C. and I'm like, I don't know, that looks pretty, that space looks pretty thin. Everything looks like,
that looks pretty ratchet, bro. I don't know about that.
Really? I was like, my 2010 Mazda has more technology than that spaceship.
Which they're using like an abacus to get there and shit.
Yeah, no, dude, it's like.
I think it's going to be a big catharsis when we go back to the moon and we find the footprints and we find the lander and we find all the stuff. We're like, all right, cool. It's settled.
Yeah,
we were there.
I hope
it's kosher.
So. And that's what I'm thinking. Because when they do it's actually, landing on that moon is like actually really complicated because they're craters and there are places you can't land. You'll just go you'll just sink.
Yeah, no shit.
You know what I mean? So it's
that's
like
a good point.
That I'm really curious. That's me. Like
Nothing
I
wrong
am
with that.
like
Nothing wrong with that.
Right. So
let's see. Rob Dixon, do you have a secret talent?
Nah, I wouldn't really say that. All my talents are out there. I think.
Yeah.
Yes.
You're pretty forthright with your
pretty
talents.
forthright. Because people didn't a lot of times they don't think that I'm into sports, but I was really into sports. So maybe, if you get me on the basketball court, people were like really surprised.
Shit, Rob's got a jump shot.
Oh yeah, I was like serious about basketball and football. And from the time I was 10, I was outdoor on the court playing like every day. So
that's awesome.
Matter of fact, my coaches used to like get on me about playing music. They told me to just quit.
Oh no! Oh, what a different world that would have been.
I remember playing at the senior talent show. I played drums and keys and sax, and then my coach got to see me. And he was like, "Man, you're pretty good." He was like, "Maybe you should do music," because he was like, "Nah, you gotta give that up." No, it's like what? I was like,
"Now, if that were like the Marvel superhero universe, different timelines, I'll take the timeline of you being a sax player. I'll take that timeline all day." Who's your childhood crush?
Man. like from when I was real little. This girl named Stacy, and that was like I was in 4th grade, I think. I never said a word to her.
Oh, no shit.
Like not one word. Like to this day, I never spoke to her. Like, and my best friend would like say hi to her all the time. Like, hey, Stacy. She's like, hey, Ted, blah 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 blah. They just shoot, and I just freeze. I just stand there like looking like, bro, I didn't even say one word to her ever. And I was like, what?
You just couldn't pull the trigger.
I couldn't. No,
Oh, man.
But actually, it was good. It was good for me to go through that because I was like, man, I'll never let that happen again.
There you go.
You know what I mean? Where
Yeah,
I just like freeze up, just couldn't talk.
Yeah, yeah. If you could sit in during one recording session, which one would you choose? Just a fly on the wall, you get to observe.
I mean, I'm a jazz head, so I'm learning the jazz. Probably the Kind of Blue record, Miles Davis, the recording with Coltrane and Cannonball Adderley and Bill Evans. And
what a
lineup! Yeah,
it gets some flack because it seems like such an obvious choice, and a lot of people say Kind of Blue, but they say that for a reason. That lineup in that limited amount of space, it just one of the greatest albums of all time.
Oh, I know.
Yeah,
and like. It'd be fun to be on some of the pop records or the important records that were made in pop music.
Yeah.
It would be cool to do that too, but definitely that one.
Is there such thing as a perfect song? And if there is, what's a perfect song?
Man, I don't think for me, I don't think there's such a thing as a perfect song. I mean, people try to talk about like the perfect song. Like, I mean,
So you think out of hand, there's just no such thing as a perfect. It's always.
I don't think so.
There's never a completed work. It's just always abandoned.
Yeah, I think it's just. And it's just like perspective. It's so subjective. It's like kind of saying the perfect song would be like saying, "What's the perfect painting?"
Oh, okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Is it Jackson Pollock or is it Michelangelo? You know what I mean?
Sure. That's a great way to put it.
Well, no, it's like
That's a great way to put it.
Yeah.
All right. So this is the last one. And I think this really sums up a person because it's way out of left field.
Okay.
But it takes some inner monologuing. What's a horror movie villain you think you could take one-on-one?
Probably Jason from Friday the 13th.
No shit?
I could get him, yeah. I could totally take... Like, you know what I mean? I was like, I could totally take that dude.
No shit.
He didn't even look that strong. You know what I mean? I'm like, dude, that's why I was always confused. I was like, dude, that kid doesn't even look that big. You know what
I mean? Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, he's sort of big, but not really. You know what I mean?
Well, and he never runs.
Right.
You could just stay 15 feet away from him all the time.
You could totally get him. Because, I mean, it was just like, I think the look was more intimidating than, you know what I mean? Like,
but when he walks up out of the lake and just stares at you,
right.
Woo-woo. You take Jason?
Probably. That'd be the one. Because the guy from the Nightmare on Elm Street is just too weird. What's that guy that played that?
Oh, Freddy Krueger?
Yeah, that would be too weird.
With the knives and shit?
Yeah, that would be, like, that's
I'm cool.
Supernatural weirdness,
Yeah.
So
that's a really good one. That's awesome. Thanks for doing this, buddy.
Yeah, man. Thank you for having me.
I really appreciate it.
Good questions. Funny.
Yeah, good time.
Yeah.
Good stuff.